everybody. This is Jackie Luqman.
And I'm Shahid Luqman.
And welcome to another edition of Live in Coffee, Current Events and Politics in Luqman Nation.
The most dangerous show on social media anywhere.
And tonight, it just might be that show. Because we all know what the news is the past day or so. And yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that issue. But first, we want to thank you all very much for joining us tonight. Pull up a chair, grab a snack, grab some tea, a nice drink, share this video, subscribe to us on YouTube. Yeah, we have our tea in our favorite cups. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on what is that place? Twitter. Yeah. On Luqman Nation.
Or as old folks say, the Twitter.
The Twitter. Yeah. On Luqman Nation 1 on Twitter. We do not have, well, we do have an Instagram account. We just don't use it, but we're going to have to pretty soon. Pretty soon we'll be up on podcasts, everywhere where you get podcasts, we'll be podding. Yeah. So, yeah, all the social media stuff. Share this video with your friends. Invite your friends. Invite people that you don't like. And probably by the end of this video, some of y'all won't like us. But, hey, that's kind of been the way things have gone.
Yeah, that's true. I got to say, look, I mean, we're going to be talking about the 100-pound gorilla in the room. Okay, Joe Biden, let's get right into it. Joe Biden picked Kamala Harris. It wasn't no surprise to us.
Nope.
A lot of you don't remember this. If you were following our show about last month or so. Let's go back because we're going to toot our own horn for a minute.
We're
going to go back.
Mm-hmm.
We had predicted on this show that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden had this in the works way back when the Democratic debates were going on.
Yes, we did.
We called that.
Mm-hmm.
We even went as far as saying that Kamala Harris, one of the reasons why Kamala Harris dropped out when she did, was the fact that the deal has already been made. We also said that Biden, this whole charade or charade, however you want to put it, this farce of, he was somewhere in Delaware and wherever he was, and he was just pulling out his hair on who he's going to choose, and I don't know. Right. Then then they said, oh wow, he called this person, he had a virtual meeting with that person, and then this one was on the list and stuff. Folks, it was all political theater. We had said that Kamala Harris was the pick back when she dropped out. Because she had to make way for Biden. Mm-hmm. This was already set up. We got played. We did. We got played. We thought that this was, democracy in action, and and the people's choice, and all of the what they call that, Jackie, when you don't know how things are going to go. I don't know. Yeah, but it's a word, but the uncertainty.
Oh, okay.
All the uncertainty of who's going to be the nominee, we don't know. We don't know. And then it was just like a dynasty episode. Then you had Sanders, who he's lurking in the wings. He's there, but and everybody is like, Joe Biden is the presumptive nominee. I don't think Sanders is going to like that. Then Sanders, he's always
I endorsed Joe Biden for president, and
let me tell you something. When Bernie, I know a lot of Bernie folks ain't going to like this, but then when Bernie, basically just hurled himself off the bus, and all of this, Jackie and I, had said that this was all the political theater. So the Democrats, who haven't been known to be really smooth about their manipulation, that this was all in an effort to convince you and I that somehow our choices or what we wanted mattered. So but it was all to clear a path in the forest, what's left of it, so that Joe Biden could be the guy who they wanted from the beginning. Am I right, Jackie?
You are absolutely 100% right, Abdus. We were watching the presidential debates, and then we were like, or the Democratic primary debates, and we were like, yeah, it was nice that she dragged Biden about his working with segregationists and all that kind of stuff. But all that is political theater, because she's not going to win the nomination, and she knows it. And when she dropped out, then Cory Booker dropped out.
The memo came around.
The memo came around.
Yeah, the memo came around.
We're not going to let either one of you be
exactly.
nominee.
That's right.
So y'all need to get out of the way and make way for Joseph Biden. So they all did.
Yep.
They all put up this good front, and we all saw what happened. But we knew that Kamala Harris was going to be the nominee when she stopped talking about Biden working with segregationists after that debate was over, and she dropped out of the race. Oh, she went quiet. And we were like, she's doing that because he's going to choose her for vice president. She is not making waves. So, because she wants to secure her spot. This thing was already planned.
It was.
Biden never intended to consider to pick anyone else. There was no way he was going to pick Elizabeth Warren. And as much as, listen, we have to say again, we criticize all political candidates.
Oh yeah, this is what we
do.
do.
We don't care who they are.
We got a whole truckload of shade that we just dump it like.
Everybody gets shade.
Yep.
If you get shade, you get shade.
Yep.
He gets shade. Maybe not you.
Right.
You get shade over there. You, shade. If you're running for office in this two-party imperialist capitalist system and you are a representative of one of those two parties, you get shade.
That's right.
Because, see, we're not voting for or against people in this system. We're talking about the system here. And Biden, Harris, they are representatives of the system. They really just are. Elizabeth Warren, to a lesser degree, she's not as bad, but she is not radical. She is more likely to support Israel bombing Palestine. She's just as likely to do that as the rest of them are. So she's as much of an imperialist as the rest of them. So, we're talking about policy within the context of the system, not a popularity contest here, which a lot of people have hopped onto with this, pick for Kamala Harris as vice president. What were you going to say?
Well, no, I was going to say that you were right, and just even more evidence to me, Jackie, that that this whole Kamala pick was already in the works months ago, is the fact that Biden, Biden's been known to make these gaffes and to be a little befuddled and all this stuff. But this is one thing. He's a seasoned politician nonetheless. And he went on record saying, "Oh, I'm going to choose a woman." See, we was being set up. I'm going to choose a woman. In fact, I'll make it even better than that. I'm going to choose a black woman. Right? And then everybody was like, "Oh wow, Biden said that he's open to choosing a black woman." So here's a guy who's been in politics for 40 years, who's been around the bend. Yeah, he's aged and caught up with him a little bit, but he's still a seasoned politician. So to get up there and commit himself and say that, "Oh yeah, I'll pick a woman." Yeah, matter of fact, I think I might go in that direction. In fact, I'm going to do one better than that. I'm going to pick a black woman. We were being set up.
Oh my God. You're right, hon. It's like, how do people think? I don't understand how people don't understand how crafty all of these politicians are. People like Joe Biden have not stayed in politics for as long as they have by being stupid.
Right. That's right.
This man has not won all of his, and he hasn't won all of his elections for his seat, seat in Congress because he did such a good job for the people. No, because he knows whose hand to play. Exactly. He knows which hand to play. He knows who butters his bread. He knows who funds his campaigns. So he will tell his campaign funders, who are all big money corporate, most of them are funded by big money corporate donors. They tell them in the closed door meetings, everything's going to be fine. Yep. I just have to say a few things to the people to get them to vote for me. Because see, the big money donors don't actually vote, y'all. They just buy politicians. We're the ones who these people tell, if you don't vote, then you can't have an opinion.
Right, exactly.
And these people who fund their campaigns, most of them, I bet you they don't vote. But it doesn't matter because their money is their opinion. That's how duped we are about this capitalist system. And we think that everything that is wrong with this system has been ushered in by Donald J. Trump. Now, to be clear, Donald Trump is a despicable human being. That's not the argument. The argument in the criticism of Kamala Harris and Joseph Biden is not that, well, we're going to vote for Donald Trump. First of all, that response to the discussion about Biden's record, Harris's record, and the Democratic Party's not inability but refusal to meet the needs of its base in any material or substantive way, that doesn't have anything to do with Donald Trump being the despicable piece of that he is. Nothing at all.
Exactly.
So when people have responded today and yesterday, and probably I'm sure they will respond again, some of y'all silly friends who don't know who they messing with when they come after me on y'all posts, I'm holding back. And they come with, well, when I criticize Kamala Harris's record, well, what do you want to happen? I mean, are you just going to vote for Trump? This isn't about Trump, honey, because Donald Trump didn't pass a bill in California to fine parents of children who miss more than 10 days of school $2,500 or put them in jail for a year. That wasn't Donald Trump. That was Kamala Harris. That was Kamala Harris.
That's right.
Donald Trump didn't keep a man that the appeals court in California found innocent. They found that man was innocent for 2 years after the court overturned his conviction. That wasn't Donald Trump. That was Kamala Harris. Donald Trump didn't ignore the Supreme Court telling the Attorney General of California, which was her at the time, to ease overcrowding in California prisons, which was monstrous, by releasing nonviolent offenders who the California Department of Corrections showed with their own statistics would be the least likely to return to prison. What did Kamala Harris do? She defied the Supreme Court multiple times to keep people in prison. That wasn't Donald Trump. That was Kamala Harris. So if you want to talk about you're voting against fascism, for real? Are you? Because that sounds fascistic to me. When you have an elected official who circumvents the ruling of a higher court in order to continue to punitively punish people and keep them in prison, that's fascism, honey. That's violating people's freedom. And that wasn't Donald Trump. That was Kamala Harris. This is not to say that because Harris did that and a whole lot of other stuff, that Donald Trump is better. That's not the discussion. And we need to get out of this binary, well, we have to vote for Biden and Harris to get rid of Trump because Trump is so terrible. How long, hon, have we been having the conversation about the policies of the Democrats that paved the way for a Trump presidency to even be possible?
Well, I'll put it this way. If anybody, and this is a book plug for Margaret Kimberly, one of our friends.
Oh, yeah.
Presidential.
Yes.
So when folks talk about Trump is so horrible, we hate to be the black band on the stage, but but they've all been horrible to us. And so the reason why that Jackie and I can sit up here and talk what we're talking about, because a lot of people say, oh, well, that's treasonous. Trump is a fascist. He's an existential threat. He's this. We can't afford 4 more years of Trump. We can't this. And all of that is true. But some of you are just now experiencing the existential threat. Some of you are just now starting to see the clouds on the horizon. We've always seen it. We've always seen, as James Baldwin once said, we've always seen the hypocrisy in American politics, those of us who paid attention. And so all the presidents have been horrible to us, including the black one. You know what I mean? So the thing of it is what we hope to achieve is not so much Kamala bashing, but what we hope to achieve is to promote a more critically thinking electorate. You know, not an electorate that is easily swayed by symbolism, an electorate that easily manipulated by fear. And this is the reason why we named this stream today about the politics of fear, because we really want to talk to those of us, African Americans, Americans in Africa, Black Americans, our indigenous brothers and sisters, our Latinx brothers and sisters, our non-binary, gender non-conforming brothers and sisters. You know, I'm still trying to remember the list, y'all. But the thing of it is this.
He's an old guy.
Right. But the thing of it is this, is the fact that there's no agenda for us. And this is where Jackie and I, this is what got us on this platform. It's not about Kamala Harris for real. Mm-hmm. It's the fact of us being manipulated through fear politics. Mm-hmm. The fact that we are dealing the marginalized groups in this country that I just named, poor whites too, is the fact that we are increasingly becoming more and more marginalized. Our situation in this country is becoming more and more dire. We have a government which is showing us that more and more that they don't care about our situation. While they still look, the rich are still getting richer, mm-hmm. and they're the only ones that's making money during the pandemic. And yet, the only thing that you can tell us, those of us who's been the long suffering, been suffering so long and continue to suffer, the only thing that you can tell me is we got to get rid of Trump and that's it. You know, so this is what we're talking about, the politics of fear. Where's the agenda? Every time we mention an agenda for working class people, every time we mention an agenda for increasingly disenfranchised people of color and others, and the more and more we talk about this growing wealth gap that that seems to get wider by the day, you know, nobody has an answer for that. Mm-hmm. Even though these problems preceded Trump.
Right.
Even though these problems is rooted in the very founding of this country. But yet we are told that once we get rid of Trump, as I heard someone today on the radio say, oh, once we get rid of Trump, then we can start working on all those other issues. And I had to throw my head back, Jackie, as I said, how many times have we heard that one before?
Lord Jesus. There is a, and it will take me too long to pull it up, I think, a video that James Baldwin answering that question. I'm trying to pull it up right now. This whole, you know, first we got to get rid of Trump. Then we can solve your issues. I mean, we heard that in 2016. Well, first, you know, I know that Hillary doesn't pay any attention to, you know, some of these issues, and I know she's pandering to black people, and I know that she's done this, that, and the third, and, you know, I know that she has exploited people in Haiti, but we got to get her elected first, and then we can pay attention to your issues. These are the things that we have kept hearing, and not just in this last election cycle, folks. Let me see if I can. Yeah,
Mary Francis, right ahead of you. She said, actually, Trump donated to her campaign. Miriam, you get the gold star because that's true.
That's true. I'm gonna show you in a minute, but let me see if I can. Let's see. Here it is. Yes, there it is. Oh no. Of course, it doesn't want to do right when I want it to. Get out of there. Oh, it would probably help if I had the mic, if I had the speaker connected. Yes, it would. Oh well.
Oh no, put it look, put it in, and then we'll restart it because I mean this is important. We need to really hear this.
Yeah, sorry about that. Just we were so excited to get this show going tonight, but just so not paying attention to what we were doing. But the whole
powering on.
The whole issue, excuse me, of waiting until we do this or waiting until we get rid of that and then we can deal with other people's, our issues.
I was born here almost 60 years ago. I'm not going to live another 60 years.
You always told me it takes time. It's taking my father's time, my mother's time, my uncle's time, my brother's and my sister's time, my nieces and my nephew's time. How much time do you want for your progress?
Let me play that again.
Yeah,
because that was just short.
I think you
Yeah.
did.
I want me to reconcile myself too. I was born here almost 60 years ago. I'm not going to live another 60 years. You always told me it takes time. It's taking my father's time, my mother's time, my uncle's time, my brother's and my sister's time, my nieces and my nephew's time. How much time do you want for your progress?
I swear to God, y'all. I mean, I'm so tired of hearing that argument because we keep hearing it.
Yeah.
And not just us, as a people, we have kept hearing this argument. James Baldwin is talking about the exact same thing that we're talking about right now.
Yep.
We need to get rid of Trump and then we can deal with these other issues. How is that possible when people have ignored the fact that Trump and Biden, Harris and Obama, they're all part of the same club. The Clintons, they're all part of the same club. Politics is right now, as it exists right now, it's this incestuous glee club of filthy rich people who are giving each other money to keep the system propped up as it is and to keep you and me out. And it does not matter that some of these people have a D next to their name, and it does not matter that some of these people are black. They don't care about you and me, and honestly, if this doesn't prove that to you, I don't know what else to say. We honestly don't know what else to say to folks.
No, we don't.
Well, when they talking about, Kamala Harris, she is great that we have a black woman who's going to be a VP. If Donald Trump liked her enough to give her money during her campaign for Attorney General in California, what makes you think that there's anything that different about Kamala Harris than Donald Trump? He liked her enough to give her some money. Come on, now.
I gave Kamala money. I thought that she had very big, tremendous potential, and I gave her money. I mean, I gave her a lot of money because I'm very rich. I'm really rich. I'm stupidly rich.
And look, that was really good. Not only did Donald Trump give her money toward her campaign for Attorney General in California, his daughter gave her money.
Wow.
But then
was that from their date night? Money that she kept from date night.
You are the devil.
I mean, my daughter's hot. I mean, I would go out with her. I mean,
that is so creepy. Oh my God, I'm all creeped out now. But not only did Donald Trump and his daughter give Kamala Harris money, but guess who else gave her some money? Steve Mnuchin. Now, do you really think it's a coincidence that she declined to prosecute Steve Mnuchin when he was the head of, One West Bank in California, one of the biggest mortgage financiers in the state?
Wow.
Accused of, they weren't accused of, they were straight legit caught illegally foreclosing on thousands of people's properties, their homes.
Wasn't one of them a woman for 47 cents or something?
Yes.
Yep.
She owed 47 cents. She was an elderly black woman. She owed 47 cents. They foreclosed on her property. Kamala Harris's staff wanted to prosecute Steve Mnuchin. She refused to do it. He turns around and gives her money for her campaign. Now, if that doesn't show you that she is no threat to those people, that she is just like them, what else do you want me to say?
Right.
You cannot like this because, we've been talking to people online and listening to people on the radio and stuff all day, and people are like, well, what do you expect to do with this? What do you expect to happen by sharing this information? And some lady on one of my friends' timelines actually called me a right-wing source.
Time to recharge.
I know. Okay, you're going to turn off. That's fine.
Time to recharge.
She's very temperamental.
She's so temperamental. Oh my God.
Let's go ahead. Take a break.
All right. I'm so sorry. Good grief. But I mean, she called me, said, I was sharing right-wing sources. This is
oh, well, at least it's not Russian.
Well, yeah, I was called that too, but it's like,
right.
yeah, I mean, can I really deny that one though? I mean, but this is the problem with people in general in this country when it comes to politics, but in this moment in particular, and black and people of color in particular, we are approaching politics like we're a bunch of 12-year-olds, and this is a popularity contest for, most popular girl in high school. That's this ridiculous immaturity that people exhibit when you criticize their favorite politicians. Now, to be fair, we had the same problem with Bernie Sanders. We had the same problem when we criticized the stupid stuff that Bernie Sanders was doing both times.
Oh, and we definitely caught it with Obama.
Lord have mercy.
I thought my ghetto passport was going to be revoked.
I don't have a ghetto passport.
I'm serious, man. Look, I was going through all this. I couldn't go to a barbecue without Pat going through a checkpoint. All I had to do was just see one of our streams and was like, "Oh, you that dude, huh?
oh, you that
right.
one who don't like Obama."
Right.
I mean, by 2010, it was like, yeah.
Right. But now, because now Obama's record speaks for itself. But but this is the thing, this isn't, and what really bothered me, I'm working today, and some of you seen what I posted on my timeline, and I posted it because I was upset about the way that Kamala Harris's nomination was being celebrated on black media. Let me just put it like that. And on black media, the clowns and the jokers and stuff on black media who are paid to mislead us, who are paid to manipulate us and misguide us and all that stuff. They're paid to do that. They're paid the key, play their records and shuck and jive, and then all of a sudden, they're like, yeah, we all go this way, you know what I mean? Or we all, maybe we need to just do this, and yeah. And so I'm listening to black media, man, and everybody's Kamala, yeah, black girl magic, blah 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 blah. And on the surface, you say to yourself, to the politically uninitiated, is that's a good thing. Black girl magic and blah 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 blah, and let's show them how black women to do this and do that.
Black women lead.
Right, black women lead and this and that and the other. And on the and when I listened to this, I heard one host who I won't name, or I won't name the station, but there was one host who I listened to weekly and have some respect for, not totally, but but for the most part she's okay. And she gets on this thing about, Kamala, went to HCBU and can we go through the White House and hear ski-wee and all this stuff? And I don't hear the pain that we're going through and how that's going to be addressed. I don't hear how we're going to fix the working class black women in D.C. at around who's making 51 cents to every white man's dollar. I don't hear the single black mother who has 1 cent to every single white mother's, I think 5 or 15 cents or something like that. But what I'm saying is, I don't hear what's going on with the mass incarceration. I don't hear our pain. I don't hear about how in places like D.C. we're being priced out. Where Jackie and I are seeing more and more tent cities around, which I call Trumpvilles. We're seeing more and more of these. They used to call them Hoovervilles back in the Depression time, in the 20s.
Right.
But now we're starting to see there's not a park now that Jackie and I don't go by now where you don't have these tent communities popping up, and yet we're just oblivious to it. But there was no talk of that. There's no talk of black people that I see increasingly in the streets begging for money. More and more women of color, more and more children who don't have proper education, especially with COVID.
Right.
And with the COVID look, the state of our education was already pitiful. Now they don't even, so what I'm saying is, with all of this keying and black girl magic and all this other kind of stuff, there was no discussion about the pain that you expect these same people to go vote for Biden and Harris. You expect these same people to get out the vote, Pookie and Ray Ray and them, right? But yet Pookie and Ray Ray and them problems wasn't talked about, and all the keying and the ski-wee and then the HBCU and all this black girl magic stuff. That was all. And I want to talk about this, and y'all could, you know, I don't care about the hate emails or whatever you want, but I gotta say this because politics is a blood sport. It's not nothing to play with. And we have posted, we have spoke about, we have fought in every aspect, just about, Jackie and I, with other organizations that we belong to, on getting this information about how dire our situation is in this country. We post about it, we fight about it, we go out there, we protest about it, we have given our money towards these causes, all of these things, right? And when I hear that Kamala Harris's candidacy is only good for black women, you know, I mean, as a black community, we're all sinking. That'd be all the same. I mean, you cannot have any political agenda that leaves out the other half. Sorry, ladies, but you can't. And the fact that to sit up there and to promote politics in that way, we will never, as a community, start to solve the issues that we solve if we continue to make these things based on gender identity politics. That's not, look, there has never, I had somebody online say, oh, well, you know, black men not supporting Kamala, that's you know, that what's that?
That's sexist and misogynoir.
Yeah, misogynoir. Let me tell you something. We got Muriel Bowser, we got Keisha Lance Bottoms, you got Lori Lightfoot, you got you had Sheila down there in Baltimore.
Yeah,
I forget.
the one who's in jail.
The one that got locked up because she was pushing a children's book on everybody.
She was a damn
right. And you got, I mean, and others. So there's no big backlash from black men against black women leadership. In fact, if you look at the way the black community is, the black community is, and black men in particular, are far. Look, there would be no Big Mom if black men had a problem with black women leading. So the thing of it is the fact, this whole manipulative shaming tactic to black men to support a candidate who was anti-black male.
I mean, look.
I mean, now this is the thing. You're asking too much. And to sit up there and say that black men are misogynist because they're not going to support someone who didn't support them. So we have to deal with politics in an intelligent way. Yeah, it's good, but see, this is the thing. If it's so much for all of you people out there that think it's good because Kamala is a black woman, well, let me say this: she's already backing away from that. All of y'all that's cheering for her being a black woman, all day long on the news, she ain't black. She's Jamaican immigrant. She's Indian. She's Jamaican Indian. She's J.I. She's all of this other kind of stuff.
But all of a sudden she ain't black.
She ain't black no more. And you know why? That is another strategic way that the Democrats are playing. See, they got you. See, they got you, black women. They got you. Because they were like, okay, that's our biggest demographic, black women. We got them. You know what I mean? They'll bully their men to vote. And then, but the thing of it is that the game plan has always been the same, the Southern strategy. So now what it is now is we can't emphasize Kamala Harris's blackness. Oh, she's the first Indian, and she is made up of that. But prior to that, when she was trying to get our vote, she had hot sauce on her greens.
Oh, yeah.
She listened to Tupac.
She was that little girl that Biden kept off the bus and had a T-shirt made up of that thing, too.
Yeah, had a T-shirt. She was the little girl that Biden didn't want on the bus. Whoa. She was the black chick that had put greens, hot sauce on her greens. She listened to Tupac before Tupac made music. All of this kind of stuff, right? And so, but now, you know, because, you know, Black Lives Matter, you know, black people are kind of well, we always been controversial, but we're controversial with Black Lives Matter. There's a whole lot of a lot of this and a lot of that.
Calm them down a little bit.
Little bada bing, bada boom, and So, but now so now what it is that some genius in marketing came around and said when they did their test thing, they said, well, if you really want to get the white independents that's on the fence and those disaffected Trump voters who really don't like Trump, if you want to pull them in, we might not want to highlight the blackness too much, because she is part Indian, she's Jamaican. Now, when has a Jamaican not been black? But she's Jamaican, she's Indian.
They're a different kind of black. Right. They're not American black.
She's ambrosia, she's this, she's all of these things. We need to highlight that, what I mean? But not black right now, because black is too controversial, So, already, my sisters, they already backing away from that tag. As Obama backed away from the tag. I'm the president of everybody. I'm not just the president of Black America. You know what I mean? So he backed away from it. Didn't mind taking our votes. But then what happened was when we called upon him to address some of our issues, all of a sudden now it was like, well, I'm the president of everybody. I'm America's president. I'm just not Black American. So already they're backpedaling.
Right. And Harris she's already come out and said, I can't say that I'm not going to do something just for black people. I'm not going to say that. That's almost exactly the way that she said it. And can I, so we're not here to tell people who they should or should not vote for. You vote for whoever you feel like you need to vote for whatever reason you feel like you need to vote for them. Our job is not to tell you who you should or should not vote for. Our job is to provide you the political education that you need to know who you're voting for and to understand what you're going to get when you vote for them. And to understand what your vote really means and what we're trying to do in this country. These people out in these streets, let's be clear on something. These people in the streets protesting, they ain't protesting for a president. Do you understand we were protesting under Obama. And I have to admit that my own journey in political education, which is continuing, it is never ending. You're never going to arrive at knowing all the things revolutionary. Don't even.
Thank God for that.
You never. But I'm still learning. But when Obama was president, and I voted for Obama the first time.
I did twice.
And, the second time I was like, maybe he'll be better now that he, it's his second term and he doesn't have anything to lose, and maybe now he'll come out and he can be that dude.
He can be that
now.
dude.
And I remember, I remember that I told somebody. I couldn't remember who it was, but I was like, yeah, now Obama, he gonna come out and he gonna be that dude, and he was that imperialist dude, just like he was the first 4 years.
Yep, yes he was.
So like the first year of his second term, I fully realized I was suspicious. The first term, I was extremely disappointed because all that stuff, if I had a son, Trayvon would have been Jesus Christ, the beer summit.
Yep.
I was embarrassed for that man. I was embarrassed for him, and but that's all.
I was even more embarrassed for Louis Gates.
I was extremely embarrassed for, and I think I kind of knew at that moment this is not going to end well for us. This presidency is not going to end well for us if this is his response to the racist Republicans making a big deal out of him saying something that was absolutely true and grammatically correct. Mind you, because what he said was the police acted stupidly. He didn't say they were stupid. What he said was actually accurate and grammatically correct. But what did he do? He has the beer summit to placate the racist white people. And I knew at that time, at that moment, I was like, I don't think this is going to end well for us.
Right, exactly.
I don't think we're going to get what we think we're going to get out of this, but I did not think it was going to be as bad as it was. So by the time Obama gets to his second presidency, his second term rather, and it's the first year in his second term, and we're still protesting police killings of people, black people, native people, Latinx people, disabled people, mentally ill people, transgender people being murdered, and the cops not even giving a damn, nobody caring. And I'm just like, clearly, the system is the problem. Let me tell you how I came to that conclusion. When I started covering the Green Party, and this was when it really was just like solidified in my mind that this system sucks, hates us all, and I can't stay in it. And I met a Jamu Baraka. Now, you don't need to meet a Jamu Baraka personally to get this kind of insight in political education, because all you need to do is go join Black Alliance for Peace. I swear to God, that's all you need to do. And you can get that political education from him and people like him who we're organized with. But conversations with that man, and I interviewed him first. Now I remember we were interviewing him, with that outlet that I hate to name. Y'all know which one. Right. And I interviewed him for the first time, and I was so excited because I was understanding capitalism and imperialism and what it meant to people and all that kind of stuff. And he was like, "Well, sister, you're absolutely right." And I was so excited that I talked more than I actually interviewed him. Right. But I began to understand then that the system is the problem. Voting for a politician who props up the system is not going to solve the problem of the system. So we can keep crapping on people who vote third-party candidates, but if W.E.B. Du Bois, I keep mispronouncing his name, if W.E.B. Du Bois said in 1956 that one of the reasons he would not vote was because the two major parties keep third-party candidates from getting their message out, so that people don't have access to the information that they need to make an informed choice, to know that they even have a choice in a viable third-party candidate, because of the machinations of the two-party in silencing third-party voices. If that was happening in 1956 and it's still happening today, why are y'all sitting here talking about, well, what are you going to do? Vote for a third party? That's just going to elect Trump, you moron. You are following along with the same system that suppressed the third-party voices in 1956 and are doing it now. Only you're doing it. You're doing it now.
Which is really strange considering the history of this country. I mean, everybody want to talk about the founding fathers and how it was in the colonial times and stuff. Do you know that during America's early period, there were plenty of political parties? There was the Federalists, there were the Whigs, there were the Democrats.
Right.
There was the No Names, and there was this, and there was that. So it's not like it's something that hasn't happened here. It's the fact that there has been a takeover, a coup by the billionaire class. And and when we say billionaire class, we ain't talking about since Reagan. No, what happened is, that flag in Iwo Jima, the iconic. Well, Reagan's administration was when the money people planted their flag and took our democracy away.
I mean, back then, and even
but what I'm saying is that was the culmination of the money people have been waging this war against the middle class until the working class, until FDR came. Then they got pushed back a little bit.
Right.
But then after FDR's time, and they were able to regroup, and ever since then, since Eisenhower, really, when they were taxed 91%, they were determined not to let that happen anymore. So it's been this erosion of all of the gains that working class people, mainly white working class people, but the thing of it is that you see manufacturing go. You've seen this. Right, you started to see the manufacturing decline of America. You started to see the inequity start to grow, and it started to really accelerate during the 60s and the 70s, and so then the union busting came, and then when Reagan got in there, then it was like, hey, now we're planting our flag, and we've never gotten out of that. And so there is no opposition party, because now what it is that when they planted their flag, Jackie, and you're so right, it is the elites, the wealthy elites, the oligarchs, whatever you want to call them, but they are not going to go back to the time of FDR. They're not.
Nope.
And so they both of them have this understanding, which is the reason why they can they can come together and have all this bipartisanship when it comes to bombing the shit out of people. When it comes to including F-16 fighters with a care package that's supposed to help us during the coronavirus.
Right.
When it comes to the military-industrial complex, oh yeah, it's plenty of bipartisanship. Oh yeah, it's a hug fest across the aisle. But when it comes to what you and I need, when it comes to what the working class need, when it comes to Medicare for all, when it comes to all of this stuff, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, that's not on their agenda.
Nope.
There's no Medicare for all. There's going to be so I don't have to go through all of this. The Bernie platform,
You're not getting it.
you're not getting
No.
it. No. What you're going to get is, this is what you're going to get, because there's going to be some of us that's going to be saying, okay, this is the life we chosen, right? The old mob movie, this is the life we chose. So we say, okay, this is what we've been given. Mm-hmm. We got to work with this. We don't want Trump. We don't want Pence. We're understood with that. So this is what we got to do. So there's going to be some of us that's going to go and try to get something out these people that's going to look something like a progressive agenda. What's going to happen is we're going to get the 3-card Molly. And all of y'all who's old enough remember the 3-card Molly. So we're going to say we want Medicare for all. Yeah, well, that's expensive. But I tell you what we'll do. We'll give you a choice. And we'll give you block grants. And we'll give you this. And we'll give you that.
We'll give you Medicare for all who want it.
Yeah, all who want it. But hey, you can still keep if you're really happy with it. And then, so we're going to go and say, well, we want the student debt. That all we want these college loans and these students' debt to be forgiven. I mean, after all, you forgave Wall Street. Why can't you forgive the kids? Yeah, but then they won't learn responsibility.
Yeah, we can't.
Yeah, we can't do that. No,
they have to learn that they have to just stop buying Starbucks and manage their money better.
But I tell you what we'll do.
Oh.
We can break them down in smaller things, right? Maybe
yeah.
put some of it on the back end, like when they get there. Like, well, then Kamala had a plan where she would take some money off if you was to start a business.
Yes, come on now.
There you go.
I
gotta say anymore.
Look
there you
here.
Go. There you go.
Whoo, Lord have mercy.
No blanket amnesty. No, but this is what we're going to do.
If you start a business, then your student loans will be not forgiven, but a portion of your. That was her plan. That really was her plan when she go look at it. Yep. People think that our criticism of Kamala Harris is like some personal vendetta.
I don't know.
I don't know the woman.
No.
I don't care who she is personally. Her existence as a human being, that's not the issue. The policies she has advocated. Those are the issues. And let's be clear, folks. Excuse me. If we are going to talk about who we are voting for, and we got to vote for this person so that we, get rid of fascism. Oh, this computer is just acting a fool today.
Well, we've been having a lot of storms in the area.
Yeah, that's true.
Storms
and it was still a little bit stormy today, so our connection is probably a little spotty. Excuse me, and things are a little slow, like us. a little worn down.
Huh?
I know. The article is still like, wait, I'm putting my robe on. Hold on.
But while that article is coming up, okay, there it is. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
There it is. There's a guide.
Phew. So, if we want to talk about, we got to vote for Kamala Harris and Joe Biden to get rid of Trump and Pence because, Trump and Pence are horrible. And yeah, they are horrible. But if you think that Biden's and Harris's policies are better for black people than Pence and Trump, you don't understand who Kamala Harris is. This is in the New York Times. I kind of hate the New York Times because it's a liberal rag, and they say all kinds of ridiculous stuff about Russiagate, this, that, and the third. And oh, by the way, Russiagate, yeah, Kamala Harris believes that black people were convinced to not vote. Yeah. So she believes in Russiagate too, just in case you were looking for something else to be pissed off at her about. But this is an opinion from someone who is a law professor and the former director of the Loyola Law School Project for the Innocent in Los Angeles, California. This was from last year.
Wow.
This was from January of last year. You know how Kamala Harris has been calling herself a progressive?
Yeah.
She wasn't no progressive. These were the things that she actually did. And I'm going to blow this up. I'm going to get this behind the bigger screen, so you can really see. When she was in San Francisco as a district attorney from 2004 to 2011, she withheld information about a police laboratory technician who had been accused of intentionally sabotaging her work and stealing drugs from the lab. We watched the documentary
on that. We did.
After a memo surfaced showing that Ms. Harris's deputies knew about the technician's wrongdoing and recent conviction, but didn't alert the defense attorneys of the people that her testimony helped get locked up.
Right.
A judge condemned Harris's indifference to the systemic violation of the defendant's constitutional rights. Ultimately, more than 600 cases handled by the corrupt technician were dismissed.
Now, this is the thing I want to say on that. For all of this, yay, black girl magic and all this stuff. Who do you think were most of the victims of this, with Dr. Fiend's mishandling of this criminal handling of evidence? Black men and women.
Mostly black men.
Yeah, mostly black men. And probably a large amount of black women, Hispanic women, and all. So when we talk about all of this stuff that somehow a blackface in high places means that we all benefit. No. She was the AG, right?
She was the district attorney.
The district attorney,
she was the attorney general.
But here she was the district attorney. Was she?
Here she was. Yeah, she was the district attorney there.
So she was the district attorney. Right? So she had within full power to do the right thing here. But no, black girl magic though. But see, that's the thing. And all of these daggone black men and women and Latinx men and women and indigenous, because California is really diverse. But I guarantee you, most of them are poor.
Yep.
And I guarantee you that the reason why she act like that, because just like how the bourgeoisie does towards us, is the fact that we don't matter. And so and when you have what they said, the judge said that she her indifference. Yeah. So so when you have a judge that said that she was indifferent to these people being railroaded by Dr. Fiend, you know what I mean?
I didn't read this part. I'm sorry. Harris contested the ruling. By arguing that the judge, whose husband was a defense attorney, had spoken publicly about the importance of disclosing evidence and had a conflict of interest. Not only did this woman ignore evidence that the state's drug technician lied, fabricated evidence, was stealing drugs from the lab, but she also tried to stop the cases that this person affected from being fairly adjudicated. Right.
I mean, like coming back on appeal and all this other kind of stuff.
Yeah. Just but black girl magic though.
Right. Yeah. And what we don't talk about and what we don't mention, the reason why this is so important, because I'm not sitting here when we say these things about black girl magic. This is not because some of y'all need a context here. What I'm saying is that there are plenty of qualified black women who would have made a better VP than this woman here. And see, you weren't given those choices. See, and that's the thing. You weren't given the Nina Turners. You weren't given these other choices. See, so the thing of it is the fact that they was like, look, we're not going to pick these other black women who we know are legit and who we know is about it, who we know is sincere, and who we know is for justice and equality, and that will try to agitate for change. See, we're not going to give them that, because that means I got to do something.
Exactly, because then that means we actually got to do something for y'all, and we don't want to.
There you go.
No, we don't want to do anything for y'all.
Right. So it's not the fact that I'm saying in particular that I wouldn't want to see a black woman in that spot. I'm saying that I would rather see a more qualified black woman in that spot who's not going to get to the White House, the president's house, who's not going to get to the president's house and just be background scenery for Joe Biden. Because see, all of this celebration of this and celebration of that, let's get down to it. She's the VP. She ain't going to do nothing. She ain't going to make no policies. She damn sure ain't going to influence Biden. You know why she ain't going to influence Biden? Why Biden ain't going to listen to you? Because he's an old white guy. And they don't listen.
And they do not listen.
He's an old white guy.
Unless it benefits them.
Right. But he's an old white guy who's been in politics, who worked with segregationists. Joe knows best. And he's going to tell her, if she does have the courage to say, well, don't you think, honey, just go sit down.
Just go sit down and wait your turn.
Go in your office.
You'll have your turn when I don't run again for the second term. Because look, mark our words. If Joe Biden wins this election, he will only serve one term. He's 78 years old.
Yeah.
He will only serve one term. And it's questionable if he's going to be able to serve all of that.
Right.
So, really, Kamala Harris being put in this position is also positioning her to be the first black female president. And that's at that point, then she'll start to be black again.
Right.
And in the 2024 election, when they gonna want us to vote for them one more time after they haven't done anything for us for 4 years. I mean, this article is just full of her record. I'm not gonna go through all of it because we just don't have the time to. But
we'll post the link. We'll
give the link to you. But what I do want to say, I do want to address the class issue. Because that is huge.
Yeah, I think we should end on that because that is huge.
Yeah, it is enormous. I mean, we're 53 and 54 years old. People are approaching politics like I said, like they're 12-year-olds voting for a popularity contest in high school. This is not representation. Is not that's not the thing, y'all. That's not the thing for adults. For your 12-year-old daughter, I can understand why it's important to see a woman of color in this position of power. But you're not 12.
Exactly.
And you need to be understanding the implications of the policies these people bring to the table. Now, this is not to say that you shouldn't, but look, vote, do whatever you want. Do what you want. You feel like you have to vote for them, vote for them. You don't want to vote, don't. I mean, you want to vote for a third party? Oh, by the way, speaking of third party, if you just have to vote for a black woman, you do know that the Green Party has had an actual black woman presidential candidate and vice presidential candidate when Cynthia McKinney ran for president back in 2008, I think. And her running mate was Rosa Clemente. And
right.
The Green Party has a black woman vice presidential candidate right now in the person of Angie Badass Walker. Right. Angela Badass Walker.
Yeah, but because because the corporate media doesn't cover these things, mm-hmm. That's why you don't know about them.
Right. But okay, the classism thing. There are a whole lot of people who are talking about the HBCU. Oh, she comes from an HBCU. Mm. Oh, the fraternity, the mention you made about, the fraternity, the sorority is going to be up in the White House. Can you imagine, hearing ski-wee? And ski-wee is this ridiculous sound that members of the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority make. If you're a member of the sorority, I don't mean to insult you, but it's a silly noise.
Well, they better be careful because Omarosa went in there and with this, she was going to turn it up in the White House and got turned down.
Look what happened to her. But there's a reason I think that a lot of black people are excited about Kamala Harris, thinking that her being the vice presidential pick is a win for black people. It's because they look at her record and what she did to poor people in California, mm-hmm. and they don't care because they're classes too. Honestly. I mean, that's just the truth. I hate to say that about my people, but some of us have some serious class issues. And I got to tell you, I know these people, some of these people. I know folks like that. Some of these folks have been so... There are people I don't talk to this day.
I know. Yep.
Because when we got together and we started doing this political thing and I started learning, you know how I do. I learn stuff, I share. It's exciting for me. Look at what I learned. Oh my God, this is terrifying. Don't you want to know how terrifying this is? And people told me, oh, all my Christian holy friends, and oh, Jackie, you're too serious, and oh, you just need to pray and let the Lord handle it. And you know, the Lord puts all authority in place, and our job is just to pray for all authority, no matter who is in place.
Oh my God, that's not some slave thinking backward thinking in my oh my God.
And then you had all the young capitalists talking about all you need to do is not spend all your money on Starbucks and you need to invest this. And when I would bring up the fact that, listen, there's no such thing as a black middle class. It's black people who are broke and poor black people. That's what we're broke. All right, there's no middle class, and I got cussed out. I got people talked about me, and oh my God, you think you know everything, and you don't know nothing, and it's not my fault that you didn't make the right decision.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you didn't know these were black people, you would think that you was on some alt-right Facebook page, or you know, somewhere where they just demonize poor working folks. You would, if you didn't know that these were black people. So you know, I mean, being in this land has gotten a lot of us sick mentally.
Very, very sick mentally. We think that if we do these things, if we appeal to these truly racist, white supremacist ideologies of how to make it in this country, that the capitalists will make some room for us. That ain't how the system is set up. And I cannot help but be in this moment and look at people who are like, oh my God, how did Trump happen? And say, I told you so. But I told you this was coming. We tried to tell you this was coming, but you don't want to listen to us because we were too radical. You thought we knew everything. We were too political. Why don't I just going back to crazy?
And one of the criticisms we used to get, y'all talk too much about black stuff.
Oh yeah, that was common. Y'all talk too much about black stuff and blah blah blah. Okay, so now you're in a situation where you are excited about voting for a white man who has a political record of oppressing black people and working with segregationists, and a black woman who has a political record of oppressing black people and poor Latinos and indigenous people and disabled people. And you're excited about that. And people actually are angry at us because we're pointing out the ridiculous hypocrisy of this situation. The truth is that regardless of what happens in November, we need to be real clear that unless the poor in this country are dealt a hand of equality and justice, we're going to stay screwed. We can't build a political movement in this country by leaving poor people at the bottom. That's not how it works. Every movement, every revolutionary movement that has ever been successful in the history of human evolution and revolution has always started at the bottom. Always started with the poor. So for black folks who think that they are going to get any change by shitting on poor people, you gonna stay broke. You will still be broke under Harris, under a Biden-Harris presidency. You gonna be broke under a Harris and whomever presidency, unless you get to doing some serious political education and understanding why imperialism, colonialism, capitalism, militarism are deep and serious issues that aren't just things that affect people that Europe does to places like India, but are things that the United States does that affects us right here in our everyday lives. All those radical folks y'all didn't want to listen to, that I've been I've been sharing with people that I know, and you've been sharing with people that you know. You need to get in with and listen to those people. You need to be educated with those people. And this whole thing, Kamala Harris has a contempt. She has as much contempt for poor people as Barack Obama did. And that's just true. You don't have to like it. You can be mad that we said it, but it doesn't make it untrue. You can think it's a right-wing talking point, but show us the lie. Because we know the record backs up what we're saying. And here's the other thing that you absolutely need to do if you're serious about, real change in this country. Whoever people elect as president in November are not going to address these issues that people are in the streets about. Mm-mm. So how do we deal with those issues though? If the next president isn't going to address them, because we know they're not. We just told you why. I mean, their record proves that they're not going to address these issues. So what do? You get involved in grassroots community organizations that are anti-imperialist, that are anti-capitalist, that are anti-colonialist, that are clear on the implications of U.S. policy internationally and how they affect us right here in our everyday lives. If you can't get involved in providing material support to people who, everybody's in crisis right now.
Yep.
How are people like, I don't know what we're going to do. Are you serious? 30 million people are about to get evicted in this country.
Well, you would have known what to do if you stopped skipping over all the political posters and just going to something that, and I say that with all love and sincerity. We're living in some very, very serious times. And so we need to challenge ourselves. I know everybody can't, you do got to be able to balance it out. But come on, man. Some of y'all ain't come to the table, man, until you realize that, your existence was being threatened.
That's the truth. That is the truth. So, whoever wins in November wins. And nothing's going to change for you and me.
We know our work isn't done.
Our work will not be done. So, the thing is, if all the folks who are upset about people criticizing Kamala Harris, I need to see you in the streets November 21st. The inauguration is going to be on, no, not November, I'm sorry, January.
Yeah.
The inauguration is going to be on January 20th. If you ain't in the streets with us on January 21st, then don't ever talk to me again. Don't ever speak to me. You don't have to, because this is not a game. People have been like, oh, I don't want to deal with politics. It's too political. It's too negative. Too negative for you now? Because, coronavirus has made it impossible for you to ignore all of these problems that didn't just happen because Donald Trump was elected. So, those are our thoughts on Kamala Harris.
Exactly. Well, we thank you for joining us tonight, and really, today was Wednesday. It was usually our patron only show, but we just felt like we just wanted to share with all of our friends and all of our supporters, and we're glad that you guys showed up on YouTube and on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Oh, y'all on YouTube over here.
Yep. So again, we ask that if you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, please subscribe. The notification button, all that social media stuff that y'all know about.
That we are still trying
to figure it out. But then you'll know when we come on live again and what else we're going to do. We're still working on the website. We have the Patreon page where we got some stuff up there. Jackie's wonderful monologues, and you got to check out today's monologue. It was awesome. And really, man. So we got some stuff in the works. If you want to support us, we have a Patreon page. And thank you for always a shout out to our patrons, man. Y'all really enable us to do what we do, man, and we love doing what we do. And so you can hit us on Patreon, the Twitter, which we still got to get more on Twitter. But again, man, we do this to serve the people, and that's why we try to tell what we feel and what we keep our ear to the ground. And we try to give it to you the way we feel it. It's not about trends. It's not about whether somebody like you or not like you. We're grown-ups. We're living in the times, man, where, if you're really about this social justice, man, then we gotta have some truth telling around here. And it don't matter who it is. So again, this is why we exist. And like we always say before, Jackie, no, we ain't got the biggest platform, we ain't got the most fancy one, something like that. But one thing we do got is dangerous.
Absolutely. And as always, y'all be real good to each other. And peace, if you're willing to fight for it. Because now you got to. Good night.